Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Masala Chai and Chess with Nisha. August is a month of birthdays of great coaches. Today is the third consecutive episode that I'm taking out on a good player turned great coach. Today is the birthday of International Master Roktim Bandyopadhyay, who does not play actively anymore but is now one of the busiest coaches in India. Raktim is from my city, Kolkata, and he has nurtured many Indian talents. Here's wishing Roktim a very happy birthday and lots of happiness and success in life. In life, we should not mess with people who are introvert, silent, and peace loving because when we provoke them too much and they get irritated and revert back, it becomes very difficult to handle them. Similarly, in chess, we should not mess with positional players because when we provoke them too much and they start attacking, the attack becomes really dangerous. Let's see what happened when a positional player like Roktim was provoked into attacking mode. We will see two games today. The first game was played in the year 2006 in the Indian National Championship. So white is Roktim and black is Tejas Bakre, the first Grandmaster of Gujarat. D4, knight f6, c4, e6, knight f3, b6. So we see the Queen's Indian on the board. g3, bishop a6. There is another move possible here, which is bishop b7. Both are theoretically very important moves. So bishop a6 was played, queen c2, bishop b7, bishop g2, c5, d5, e into d5, c into d5. And in this position, lot of players nowadays play knight into d5. But in this game, Tejas played bishop into d5. Now, Tejas has captured a pawn and white has to do something. White has to show some compensation for it. So in a way, Tejas is provoking the positional player Roktim to do something, to go for some initiative. Let's see why this is dangerous. Knight c3, bishop c6, e4, d6, bishop f4, knight h5, and Roktim goes long castles. So Roktim's intention is clear that he is going to attack soon. Now, when an attacking player attacks, he just attacks because he wants to attack. But when a positional player like Roktim goes for an attack, it is very dangerous. Number one, he leaves no weaknesses. And number two, when they attack, you have to be really careful. So let's see the game as an example to understand what I'm talking about. Knight into f4, g into f4, bishop e7, e5, making use of the pin. Castles, and here white played h4, a very natural attacking move. And now white has this idea of playing knight g5 at some point, maybe very soon. And for example, suppose knight d7 here, this would be a blunder because of knight g5. And the problem is there is queen h7 threatened and there is this bishop c6 and black is losing something here. So after h4, black played f6 and stopped knight g5 idea. Knight d5, so white is bringing one more piece into the attack. F into e5, knight g5. So we see direct threats on h7. Bishop into g5, h into g5. Again, this is the vulnerable point. The queen is attacking, the rook is attacking, and the king has to be careful. So in this position, black played g6. Roktim played queen b3 and he's threatening some discovered check here. So we see that this knight on d5 can move and can create problem for the king on g8. So here, Tejas just played king g7. He moved away the king from this diagonal, from this a to g8 diagonal. And this is my masala chai moment. I want you to find the killer blow. There could be many winning moves here, but what would be the ultimate? Rook into h7, the most appealing move. King into h7, queen h3 check, king g8, rook h1, white is threatening, queen h7 mate. Black played queen d7 to stop white's idea. And here, Roktim finished off with one more nice move, knight f6. And Tejas resigned because after rook into f6, there is queen h8, king f7, queen into f6, king e8, rook h8 mate. If instead after knight f6, black plays king f7, the queen is hanging, but there is something better. There's a mate, queen h7, king e6, bishop h3. Don't mess with a positional player. The next game that I'm going to show to you was played in the year 2005 in the Asian Championship in Hyderabad. White is Roktim and black is Dibyendu Barua, India's second grandmaster and Bengal's first, Bengal's pride. d4, d5, c4, e6, knight c3, knight f6. We see the queen's gambit declined on the board. C into d5, e into d5, the exchange variation, bishop g5, c6, e3. And in this position, black has a lot of moves. So black has something like bishop e7, knight bd7, bishop f5, and so on. Many moves are possible here. But Barua played queen b6. This is a rare move. I mean, not as popular as the other moves I mentioned. And here the point is that black is attacking the pawn on b2 and black frees the f6 knight. So, black wants to change how the game goes normally in Queen's Gambit declined. And he says white first defend the b2 pawn and I want to free my f6 knight and bring it to e4. So for example, the normal move for white here is queen d2 or queen c2. And in both the cases, black goes knight e4. But in the game, Roktim decided that he didn't, not to defend the b2 pawn. And he went bishop d3. So he says, you take my b2 pawn, I will take a lead in development. So bishop d3. And yeah, one important thing I need to mention is that instead of bishop d3, if white goes bishop f6 in this position, let me show this move. So if bishop f6, black takes queen into b2. This is the intermediate move that black has. So, after this, black is attacking the c3 knight, and this is also an idea. So, in the game, Roktim decided after queen b6 to go bishop d3 and not support the b2 pawn. So, Barua says, okay, I accept the challenge. Knight ge2, white continues the development. Bishop e7, castles, and here the normal move is to castle as black. So this is what the earlier games went. This is how they went. And here Barua decided to go queen b6. So what he wants is come back with the queen, and if he can, develop the pieces, he remains a pawn up. So queen c2 was played, queen d8 and f3. Now white wants to go e4 soon. Black played h6, bishop h4, And here again, the move which is very natural to me is castles. I would prefer king safety, but for some reason, I think Barua wanted to make the play interesting, and he played a5, and he wants to put knight on a6. But this could be a little slow, and also there are, these squares which could be a problem at some point. Let's see. White played e4, and he's advancing in the center. White wants to play e5 as soon as possible. So knight a6, the threat is knight b4. So one move, white plays prophylaxis a3. And here this was an important moment when black should play d into e4, f into e4, and here knight c7. The point is that whenever e5 comes, black gets knight f d5. So the d5 square is available to black's knight after this. But in the game, black played knight c7, and this happens to be a big mistake. After e5, white got a very nice position. Now white has a good center. Knight d7, bishop into e7, queen into e7, knight g3. So white is aiming for maybe knight f5 at some point. So black played knight f8. And here f4, most natural move. And this pawn wedge in the center, d4, e5, f4 is very, very strong, and f5 will come very soon. And if you look at black's position, black has an extra pawn, but it is just useless here. So h5, f5, white's attack really looks strong. And one very important thing is that this f5 move restricts the c8 bishop and the f8 knight. So h4, knight ge2. White already has a winning attack, a winning position. Let's see how the game went. Queen g5, knight f4, rook h6. If you look at it, black's minor pieces are restricted. Black is trying to develop some of his pieces, major pieces, and trying to create some counterplay. White played knight a4. So we see that white is heading towards these weak squares, and that is why I mentioned that a5 may not be very precise at at the opening stage. Knight d7, taking control of the dark squares. Rook a e1, b5. And here white played a nice move. I mean, there are a lot of good moves, but I liked the move which was played in the game. White played e6. Black took the knight on a4. Now, queen c6. I mean, if you look at this position, the king here is really bad. Right now, you see this knight hanging. If this knight moves, the a8 rook is hanging. This knight is pinned. Everything, every piece of black is in trouble right now. We can see white's idea by, playing a pass move. So for example, if say h3, say pass. ed7 check, it's a double check. So king has to move. King e8, rook e8, and it's over. Knight into e8, and it's a mate. So queen c6 position. One more idea, one more question we might have is what happens for f into e6. Knight into e6, so it attacks the queen, it attacks the knight. There is some battery. So if knight into e6, f into e6, and the king on e8 is very badly placed, and it gets checkmated very soon. So in the game, black played king d8, knight d5, knight into d5, queen into d5. The rook on a8 is under attack, so black played rook a7, e7, king e8. So this is my masala chai moment. I'm going to sip the last, bit of my masala chai while you find how white finished off black in style. White played queen f7. Nice way to finish off the game. And black resigned as black is getting checkmated after king into f7. e8 queen, king f6, and rook e6. Checkmate. A beautiful win against India's second grandmaster. If you would have noticed, in both the games when Roktim attacked, he did not leave any weakness. He did not make any weakness in his own camp. That's how a positional player attacks. I hope you all liked the 2 games of Roktim. Before you all go, don't forget to wish Roktim a very happy birthday. If you all liked the video,